Welcome to episode 69 of Mini Pod. No fluff, just good stuff in under 5 minutes. I don't have to tell you that pastors are constantly facing the challenge of living under financial pressure, either personally or corporately, or both. You know, typically if the church is doing well financially, the pastor is doing well financially. Now, by well, I mean the pastor is receiving an appropriate salary that their family can live on comfortably. You know, however, if the church is doing poorly financially, then it'll eventually affect the pastor in the form of a reduced salary, reduced benefits, or both. One pastor recently said to me, "Dave, I always feel like I'm one bad offering away from not getting a paycheck." Boy, I've been there. I know how that feels. Constantly living under this pressure, it's just no fun. It wears you out. Another pastor said something similar, said, "If we don't have a good offering this week, I won't be able to pay our church bills." And again, I've been there. One of the advantages of bivocational pastors is that they usually don't have to worry about their personal finances as much as the fully funded pastors do. But still, even if you're bivocational, your church can be struggling financially and it affects you. A while ago, I was recording a podcast for 200 churches. If you're not aware of 200 churches, man, you've got to go and listen to their podcasts. Nobody does it better than 200 churches. But I was talking on the subject of how to work with a dysfunctional church board. And the question came up, what in your opinion, or in my opinion, is the purpose of a church board? I think that's a really good question. I believe the first job of the church board is to take care of the pastor. This means a lot of different things, but one of which is to make sure that the pastor receives a salary enabling their family to live comfortably without the worry of finances. You see, a pastor has enough to worry about. They shouldn't also have to worry about how they're going to pay their bills and how they're going to buy food for their children. Many church boards, they do try to give their pastor a generous salary, as much as is possible, but they only have so much to work with. You can't give what you don't have. However, my experience in working with pastors has proven that many times church boards could give the pastor more, but they choose not to. And there's a lot of explanations for this, but time doesn't allow me to deal with it right now. So if you're among those pastors who are experiencing financial pressure, what can you do? Well, first of all, you could bring me in, or someone like me, a church consultant, and as far as like a conference call goes, to talk to your church board and to do some training with them about how to set a pastor's pay package, what should the spending priorities be in the church. I do this a lot of times. You know, just recently I worked with 2 different churches on this, and it proved to be very, very helpful. If you're interested, contact me. My email is scpcoaching@gmail.com. The second thing that you can do is you and your spouse, and I know this just kind of seems obvious, but you really need to pray about this. You really need to bring this need, this financial pressure before the Lord, and you know, maybe it'll result in a total change in your finances. But even if it doesn't, what you're going to see is that the burden, the worry, will begin to weaken its grip on your emotions. And then the third thing that you can do is just hang in there. You're not alone. Pastors all over this country are experiencing and feeling the same things as you are. And God has promised to meet your needs. Try as good as you can to trust Him. This is Dave Jacobs of Small Church Pastor. Hit that like button, subscribe, tell your friends about the Mini Pod, and I'll talk to you next week.